If you are ready to learn exactly how to destroy every single seller objection, watch me give offers, actually showing my live offer presentation to motivated sellers, virtual wholesaling sellers, whatever type of seller possible. If you are ready to watch the full process of me actually giving offers to motivated sellers, give me any objection you want, anything you want. I'm going to show you what a live offer presentation should look like, really with the inside of wholesaling real estate. And we are going to show you, and I'm going to bring up every single objection you could even possibly get from a motivated seller and exactly how you can overcome it for wholesaling success. Guys, when you know how to talk to a motivated seller, when you know actually how to have a conversation and not lose out on the deal, to destroy your competition so you can sound as confident, as assertive, as good as possible, that is what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to do today. For everybody right now, if you are ready to talk to sellers, actually give legit offers that work so you can have wholesaling success, this is the stream for it. This is where we're breaking it all down. So let's get it going. Let's talk about this and let's just get straight into this. In wholesaling real estate, you're going to have a lot of objections. You're going to have a lot of people say questions. And if you do not know how to answer these questions, you are a fish out of water. You are screwed. You're done. You really don't have much of an option here. And so what we're doing today is just going over how I give my offers to sellers, how you should give your offers to sellers, the different types of offers to give to a seller, right? There's standard lowball offers. There's standard ones, but really there's about 3 or 4 that we like. And then, I would say we'll break down 5 different type of offers, right? And a lot of them are going to be different, but what we're going to do is go over the objections first. And then objections just over the phone, right? Or in person, right? Because you're going to get these objections when talking to the seller before you give the offer. So we're going to break those down. Then we're going to get into me just giving the offer. When talking to the camera, the camera is going to be the motivated seller. You're going to watch behind my shoulder talking to sellers and getting wholesaling deals done and having the best success possible. So let's talk about this. Let's get into it. And let's bring out the first objection, right? So I'm talking to a seller. They say this question, right? The one thing we have to make, and we are alert for everybody right now that's like, oh, maybe I don't want to. No. This is a number 1 rule before we break this all down. And you need to write this down. If you have not have this written down, you are screwed on your wholesaling deals. Condition the seller. Let me repeat myself. Condition the seller. 80% of these objections that I'm going to show you today, and 80% of the reason why you guys can't go out here and close your motivated seller is because you do not condition the seller. Let me repeat myself one more time. The reason why you struggle when you go to the seller appointment or you're virtually wholesaling, you're talking, and the seller just, you don't get the deal or the deal magically goes to somebody else. It's because you did not condition the seller, and the person you probably is your competition. Watch the channel here and they condition the seller. So what is conditioning the seller? Oh, if you go to freewholesaling.com, my free wholesaling course, it's the number 1 rule we have on acquisitions. But conditioning the seller is stopping the friend zone. That's what we call it, right? So when you talk to a motivated seller and you say, Mr. Seller, you sound perfect on the conversation, and you give an offer, they like it or they don't, you negotiate from there. Can you do 130? And they're like, no, 150. Well, what about 140? Okay, that might work. Well, can we get a contract signed or an agreement signed, piece of paper? I'm going to think about it. Have you ever had that situation with a motivated seller where it's you talk to them and they say, maybe, or I'll think about it. And they go next. This is what happens when you buy these stupid little guru courses. This is the problem when you go talk to a broke wholesaling guru and they teach you how to close sellers, and they don't close sellers. They don't condition. When you don't condition, you are absolutely trash with your acquisitions, because when you do not condition the seller's just going to say, well, you know what? I'm going to leverage your offer with somebody else and try to get something better. You know what? I'm just going to put you in the maybe friend zone and try to get something better. And then maybe if that doesn't work, I'll come back to you. and you're just like, you're a fish out of water here. You're just like, you're hanging and you're just waiting for the seller, but the hands and knees begging, potentially I can get this deal. Oh no. It's like, no, that's how you struggle. This is why you struggle to get deals closed. A lot of you guys are absolutely terrible at closing your sellers. Some of you guys are really good. And like most people that condition the sellers are really good, but they do not condition that condition. They do well. But a lot of you guys are not conditioning sellers. And so let's break down a little more about conditioning your motivated sellers. Conditioning your seller is just making sure that they, when you give this offer, they are ready to make a yes or no decision. Let's repeat ourselves here. When we talk to a motivated seller, very important, they either have to say yes or no. That's what you want. What if they say no? If they say no, fine. It's not a deal. If they say no to my offer and it was at the MAO, it's not a deal. If they want above the MAO and that's the requirement, not a good deal. No, not good at all. Like we wholesalers, we're here to make 30, 40, 50 grand on a deal. Like this ain't your broke guru's wholesaling channel, okay, man? Like I'm here to make you big bucks. I make big bucks and I show you how to make big bucks. You see people in the comments, you see people on the channel, you see people at freewheelsing.com. We get you rich. That's what we do here. Okay. I ain't here to make $2,000 wholesaling deals. No, we're here to make 20, 30, 40, $50,000 deals. Heck, $100,000 plus deals. Okay. And so to do this, if a seller says no, that's okay. It's okay. And I this isn't the most correct statement to say, but like, you ask somebody out on a date and they say no. Okay. They said no. It ain't going to work out. We're not going to be creepy about it. Oh no, you should say yes to me. That's weird. Okay. Say yes or no. That is it. And if you do a lowball offer and you do it the right way we say today, you'll be fine. But conditioning the seller, when you have an offer, there has to be a yes or no. A no, it's fine. It's not a deal. Not every seller is going to be a deal. I'm okay with a no. I'm very okay with a yes because boom, get the contract, money, cash, right? That's great. Now, the problem is a lot of you guys have this issue. You get a lot of maybes. I'll think about it. Maybe, possibly. I'm gonna wait for Peter Homebuyers, over on 4th Avenue. He's coming by at 4:00 today too, so I'll wait. You guys get stuck like this, and you just accept it. Okay, I'll lose out on the deal. No, we're conditioning the seller. So conditioning the seller is basically forcing the seller to make a yes or no decision. And so here's my quote live conditioning the seller. And every single time I do something live, it's like slightly off my script because I just go off my head and I just go off like live. I'm talking to the seller right there. So boop, 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 ring, ring, ring. So let's say I called before, we had an appointment set up for, let's say we had an appointment set up for 1:00 tomorrow. Okay. So, hey, Mr. Seller, 1:00 work. Okay, good. Right. And so I call him up. It is currently 10 a.m. And so I got an appointment at 1. This is when I do it. I'm going to call the seller up. I'm going to say this. Hello. Hi. Hey, John. Hey, John. How's it going? This is Zach Ginn. How are you doing today? Hey, just confirming we're all good for 1:00 tomorrow, right? All right. 1:00 today. Are we all good for 1:00 today? Perfect. Well, what I'm going to do is I got to see other properties and I'm going to head over there right at 1. Hey, one really quick thing, John, just so I don't waste your time or my time. When I go there, are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the property? I'd hate to go there and you're not ready and I only go in the house once. Are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling? Yes? Okay, perfect. Simple, right? And so let's do another one, right? And so let's say I'm calling the day before. Okay, so day before, not after, Hey, Michelle, hey, just confirming we're all good for 1:00 tomorrow, Peter? Okay, perfect, Peter. Well, Peter, one thing I got to do is just when I go to these houses, I only go once. I'm not here to come in and out, look at the house 5 or 6 different times. I'm very busy. I know you're a very busy person. So to respect your time and my time, when I go there tomorrow, are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the property? You are not. Your wife, she's out of town. Oh, okay. Well, let me know when Sheila's back in town. And when she's back in town, we can go and see the house. I just hate to go there. We agree on something. And then, Sheila's not okay with it. She feels left out. I'd hate to see that, happy wife, happy life. Ha ha ha. Great. And so, it's kind of stupid, but it's so funny. It's One thing you got to really understand here in wholesaling real estate when you are talking to these motivated sellers, all right, like when you are having these conversations, it's very important that you just be real with them. You have to be real. You cannot be this fake type person. And so the way that I talk, maybe that's not the way you talk. Maybe that's not the way the average person talks. I'm a crazy person. Everyone knows that. But that's the way I talk. And I'm very genuine the way I do it. And I've had that conversation on the phone a lot of times. All right. And so the point of that conversation is they're ready to make a yes or no decision on selling. And so this is why I'm taking a lot of time on just conditioning the seller, because 90% of your bad ways of you not getting the deal is straight up from you not conditioning the seller. So let's go over this one last time. You and I, we're going to speak in the microphone right now. We're going to speak to the camera, and then we're going to get the other objections. Hey, Mr. Seller, before I go see you on the property tomorrow or 3:00 today or whatever, just so I don't waste your time or my time, are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the property when I'm there? Yes? Perfect. Well, I'll see you there at 4. You're not? Why are you not ready to make a yes or no decision? Well, I don't want to go there multiple times, waste your time or my time. Whenever you're ready, please let me know. You do not want to go there if they're not ready to make a commitment, if they're not ready to make a yes or no decision. Okay. This is like, I guess, proposing to someone. You either want a yes or a no. You don't want a maybe. Like, what's a maybe going to do, right? Condition the seller. That'll help you out. So now we got conditioning the seller down. Hopefully you guys said it very slow. Hopefully you really understand this, and we can break this down and break down, honestly, the objection. So now we're talking to sellers. We have people talking. Let's get it going and let's talk about this. So, objection. Pretty simple. Zach, your offer's way too low, man. Or you want that little for my house? This is an objection people get so scared over, right? They get so flipped out. They get all freaked out and stressed out. Your offer's too low. That's what I always say. Okay, well, what offer works for you? That's it. Well, you give me a better offer. Well, I did give you an offer. $110,000 for the house. You think it's too low? I'm curious. What do you think it's good for? Or what offer works for you? Instead of just shut up and let the person speak, maybe they say 130. Well, how did you come up with that? And you let them talk. And from there, you just negotiate. Well, Mr. Seller, I would love to be at 130,000 on this house. I would love to do it. And trust me, I would love to give you more money. But here's the problem. It needs a new AC. The roof's going to cost me 15 grand at minimum to repair. Okay. Heck, I might have to replace it at 25,000. This kitchen, between you and me, Mr. Seller, I love the kitchen. I'm good for it. I can go cook it. It's simple. It's easy, right? It done, right? It's classic. The problem is when we buy this house, we bring renters in. You got these new millennials, right? They're 30, 35. They watch their TikTok and they want the nice marble cabinets and they want the nice backsplash and all. And they ain't going to pay me any good rent unless I had those fancy things. And I got to make it up to today's standards. And so it is technically outdated. And for me to get the most out for my rent, I'm going to have to put the renovations in here. And unfortunately, if I paid you 130, if you had the nice renovated everything, I would love to, but unfortunately like that. Seller, I mean, you see the mold everywhere. Like it's going to cost me a lot of money to fix this. There's holes everywhere on the ceiling. And, I can go on and on about the problems, but one thing you want to do is you don't want to be combative with these sellers. You don't want to be like, you're wrong and I'm right. Because sellers, they want to feel like they're right. They want to feel like they have some control, right? And the one really cool thing I always do is, I would love to. Trust me, I want to help you out. I'm be the nice guy, but unfortunately, it's out of my control. It's because of this, and this, the issues on the property. And that's usually how I get a seller down if they think the offer's too low. And I'm like, well, they're like, yeah, I didn't think about how the roof does need. Some sellers, honestly, they know it's worth 130 and they want it for it. Or maybe it's worth 110, but they want 130 for it. But they don't realize the cost of things. See, a lot of people don't renovate house. They'll buy a house 15, 20 years ago, not update it, not deal with any repairs. And then when everything when the chickens come to roost, right? They're like, wait, this is how much it costs to repair a roof. This is how much it costs to redo a roof. I've never redone a roof before. I've never updated a kitchen before. And sometimes I have to go look up what the cost of things are to really understand, like, oh, wow, Zach's not doing this to go out here and be like really mean. Zach's not, they have to understand you are not giving this lowball offer because you're like this jerk or you're this really mean and rude person that's just, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. Right now. That's not what you are, right? But the seller sometimes might come off that when you have like a lowball offer that's off of their expectations. And if you can just give some explanation, some logic of how to do it, you'll do well. And so there is a three-pronged process. And if you want to write this down, this is really important. We tell this to all of our acquisitions people. When you're talking to a motivated seller, their decision to go with your offer, the decision to sign an agreement, a contract with you, is based off of three key things. And they go through a process. There are three, I don't know the best way to describe this, but like there's basically three matrices. That's the best definition of it, of why a seller chose to go with you. They make a decision to go with your offer, either from number one, emotion. I would say about 80% of all sellers decide to sell based off of emotion. I'm sick of this. I want to get rid of it. They decide to get rid of it for cash from emotion. That's how most people do it. 10% of your sellers are going to decide to sell strictly based off of logic. This is a logical decision. This makes sense. You guys probably know that. A lot of you guys are very logical. Most sellers are logical, not motivated sellers, but people that sell houses, logical. I have a house. I want the most of the house, so I get the most money. They go with a realtor, right? The problem is you're not dealing with those type of people. You're dealing with people who are based off of emotion. Ugly house, they want to get rid of it. They don't want to deal with the work, right? Analytical people, off of logic. And then 5%, no, I would say 15% logic, then 5%. This is the last part. This is the part that really nobody understands. Most people go with emotion. Maybe they decide emotionally, yes, I want to get rid of it. Then they have to logically decide to want to get rid of the property. Logically get rid of the property. Logically understand that's the right decision. And then the last part is fear. Fear is the last part of a selling point that people make decisions in wholesaling to sell their house. Fear. The market's going to go down. I better sell now. Fear. That's not even logical. Just fear. A little bit of mixed. Hey, Mr. Seller, I'm going to go see a couple more houses today. And if I go with them, I'm not going to be able to buy your house. Oh, there's scarcity here. That's a fear. Boom. Fear sells. And so when you talk to sellers, they're going to either go through emotions, logic, or fear. And so when someone says the offer's too low, this is all logic. It's logic money. And so the one thing also you can do when a seller says the offer's too low is, okay, well, logically, if you want the most for the house, go with the realtor. List the property for 6 months, have 50,000 people walk through your house, and then maybe if it passes an inspection, wait. There's a hole in the roof. There's rats, cockroaches. The electrical panel is busted and really bad. I say I'm playing dumb. So it won't pass an inspection with a realtor. No, but you want the most for it. So you just put the 30 grand into fixing the house up and go with the realtor. That's the most logical decision, right? No, I don't want to do all that. Emotion. Well, logically, if I don't want to go, see, now they're going off of logic, analytical. Well, if I don't want to do all that stupid work, I should go with Zach. And so they're kind of doing this merry-go-round. And I know I'm taking my time on this, but like, this is really important for you guys to understand. They go through this merry-go-round of like, dang, the most logical decision is to go with Zach. And a lot of you guys lose out on deals because you don't talk through the process with the seller. They kind of have to go through stages. People go through the 7 stages of grief, right? Like there's kind of like the 3 stages of wholesaling with a seller, right? They have to emotionally make a decision. They have to logically, okay, that logically makes sense. And then emotionally. A lot of you guys feel like it logically makes no sense to accept the lowball offer. But for a lot of people, logically it is. If they don't want to do the repairs, they want to get rid of it for cash. They want to close quickly, right? And so logically, if you want the most of the house, Mr. Seller, Go with a realtor. I know a great guy, John Smith. He's great over here. He's a great person to go with. No, I don't want to. See, you go from there. And so when the seller tells you that the offer is too low, I eat it up. Oh, beautiful. I'm like, oh, you think the offer's too low? Go with a realtor. And guess what happens when I say go with a realtor? Well, I just don't want to deal with this then. You go with a realtor, I'll go buy a bunch of other houses. What's the last part here? Fear. Fear kicks in. That fear of missing out. Oh, shoot, Zach's actually going to leave. And so this is really important. When a seller says the offer is too low, a lot of motivated sellers, they get on the defensive. Oh, no, it's okay. And they get like so defensive, scared. And the truth is, you don't be on the defensive, stay on the offensive. You have to keep attacking. And when the seller says the offer is too low, you have to be on the offensive here. When you're on the offensive, you will achieve your goal. All right, that's objection number one, guys. I love these objections. No objection in wholesaling real estate phases me because you can't be scared for the seller to say no. Okay. Oh, my offer's too low. Well, what works for you? You want 150? My MAO is 140. The seller, I can't do 150. I can do 135. No, still at 145. Sorry, I don't think it's going to work then because of X, Y, and Z. Hey, I would love to give you 145,000 for this house, but do you understand the cost of this? Bing, boom, 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 boom. One thing we used to really do with our acquisitions people, we don't really do it anymore, but this is just, you can do it. We used to go get a notepad. We don't walk in the notepads anymore, but we used to go in with a notepad and we used to just write down the cost and the renovations. And so one thing we used to do was we went here, we did, okay, $15,000 roof. And what we did now, it's like we don't do it on the notepad, but on the notepad, we used to do $15,000 roof, $20,000 kitchen and bathrooms, boom, boom. And we just list out what the issues were. And then we added it up, $40,000 in renovations here. That's a lot of money to put on this house. I don't think I even want this anymore. And then the seller's on the offensive, on the defensive with you. One thing we used to do now too, this is great, right? You got your phone right here. You just be like, okay, $40,000 is the repairs. I got to put an extra 12 into it. And like they're watching in the corner, 52 grand. Oh man, this is expensive. I'm telling you guys, it works. So when the offer's too low, use that as leverage and keep going after it. You will get deals by doing this. I promise everybody watching this, if you do it, it'll do well. All right. Number two, proof of funds. Oh, scary, right? A lot of people get really scared with the proof of funds. Let's talk about it. Zach, I need a proof of funds from you. Okay. Do you want a letter? Do you want a bank account? Like, what works for you? Oh, well, I need to see you have the money in your bank account. Okay. Well, what's your email? I'll send it over to you. Done. Okay. A lot of you guys get freaked out over proof of funds. You can use your partner's proof of funds. Okay. What I'm going to do is send over my partner's proof of funds. We buy it together. Simple, right? And well, you don't really buy it together. You do. Okay. So like one thing you got to understand is the assignment of contract has you're on the assignment of contract and the partner, the cash buyer, is on the assignment of contract. So you can always use your cash buyer's proof of funds. And if you use them on it, remember, they're going to buy it with you. You're all good to go. Like you're fine to do it. Now, it's always best to have your own proof of funds. Obviously, if you had $5 million in your bank, go use it. A lot of you guys can't. Go get a proof of funds from your partner, ask for permission to use it, and just say, hey, this is my partner. This is the person that I'm potentially going to buy the deal with. Here's the proof of funds. Don't be scared. Like, and guess what? If you're going to wholesale it, at the end, that partner you gave the proof of funds, he's the person actually funding the deal. So it's pretty transparent, actually. And so use your cash buyer's proof of funds. It's not even it's not even a question. Just go do that. And you might be like, well, I don't have any cash buyers. Well, get your butt to work. Go to Zillow for Rents. Start calling, finding all the rich landlords. Go to cash sales and listarea.com, zachdata.com. Go there, find the buyers from there, and then just get into it. It's real. See, here's one thing. No Limit says this, be really good at manipulation. It's not manipulation, okay? You are not manipulating anyone. You are just giving more information to the seller. This is selling, okay? This is not manipulating anyone. All right. Like we are not, that's not what we're doing here. If the seller does not want to sell for the price, I'm okay with it. We walk away. It's not manipulating. That's one thing I think realtors always say. It's so stupid. But yeah, proof of funds used cash buyers. You're good. You're good for that one. Here's another really good one. I love this one. Give me an offer. Give me an offer, Zach. Give me an offer. Stop with this. Give me an offer right now. I need an. And you're going to deal with a lot of really dominating personalities when you're cold calling, talking to sellers. There's going to be a lot of very aggressive people. Give me an offer. Give me an offer. Zach, I don't want to hear you think. Give me an offer right now in my house. It's 123 Main Avenue. Give me an offer. And like, geez, Louise, man, like chill out. A lot of people get super aggressive. And I think a lot of you guys are like, yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about, right? And a lot of you guys just curl up sometimes and be like, oh, I don't know what to do. And even where some of y'all just spit out an offer. And it's like you lose all your leverage on the deal. And it's like, what are you going to do? Terrible. Trash. So when someone is really aggressive with me, I'm not a very aggressive type personality person, like, right? And you know who I'm talking about, like these type of people. So I'm in Florida. A lot of these type of people are New Yorkers, okay, specifically the Bronx and Brooklyn. All right. I don't know what's up with those boroughs, but those people that move down to Florida, they are super aggressive, like super aggressive. All right. It's like ridiculous. All right. Like it's insane. And all of them are like this. And so like, I'm used to it. All right. It drives me nuts. What's your offer? What's your offer? What's your offer? That's what I do. Well, when someone screams that at me, I use what we call the car analogy. The car analogy is the best analogy you could ever use to get somebody off their high horse on the offer. So what is that? This is it. What's your offer? What's your offer? What's your offer? Hey, Mr. I would love to give you an offer right now. But let me ask you a quick question. Then we can talk about it. Oh, okay. What's the question? Right. And they're expecting you to ask a question about the house and calculate it right there. Right. Have you ever test driven a car? What? What do you mean? Have you ever bought in a car and test driven it? Duh, of course I have. What's my offer? Right. That's what you get. Well, if I'm buying a house, kind of like buying a car, except a lot more expensive, I'm going to have to test drive it. Like you obviously just don't see a car and then buy it sight unseen. You got to test drive it. You got to look at it. You really got to make a decision. I mean, Mr. Seller, the reason why I buy real estate, frankly, is I'm not buying stocks. I'm not buying all these things I can't see. I want to see what I'm looking like. I want to see what it looks like. So unfortunately, I would love to give you an offer right now, but I got to go see it. I mean, if you want an offer right now, what's your address? I can swing by in about an hour. Whoa. You know, I guess that makes sense. I'm not available right now, right? And then they get a lot more on the defensive. And so basically, let's do another example. You know, I can do other ways. But like, okay, what's your offer? What's your offer? What's your offer? Well, Mr. Let me ask you a quick question, but before I tell you about the offer and everything. Oh, okay, what is it? Have you ever bought a car? Yeah, I've bought in a car before. Well, when you bought the car, did you test drive it? Yeah, I test drove it before I bought it. Well, that's what I want to do too. Like I would love to go buy the house from you, but like I'm a man of my word. When I give you an offer, that's my price, and I do not back down. And I can tell you're a man of your word too. Yeah, of course I'm a man of my word. Well, man to man, if I want to look you in the eye and tell you I can offer you this and this is my offer and I'm not backing down from it, I'm going to have to see it. I really have to put eyes on it and I have to look at it. Does that make sense? Joe, that makes sense. Well, what's a good time for me to come by and actually look at the house? See, what you do is you flip that aggressiveness into setting the appointment. And for a lot of those New Yorkers, I make fun of them all the time, but like New Yorkers, they seem aggressive and nasty and all, but they're actually sweet people. Okay. It just is a little abrasive. But those New Yorkers that seem like those crazy, like aggressive type people, they have really good values. They honor their word. They're a man, women of their word, and they understand family and values and things like that better than anyone. And so when you can use that aggressiveness and like flip it on them and say, you're a man of your word, I'm a man of my word. Because of that, I have to go see the house. And so when I make you an offer, I can stay firm on that. They eat it up. They eat it up like candy. And that's how you do it. And so to give me the offer aggressive type people, they do it. And There is a alternative part of this too. I will tell you. When a seller says, no, no, don't come by the house. Give me an offer now. I don't waste my time. Well, if I can't look at the house and I can't see it sight unseen, I don't want to waste your time or my time. Like if you're not serious about me coming by the house and looking at it to give me a real offer, you're not really serious about selling the house then. Well, not really. Like, okay, that's what it is. Also, another question I get a lot on the direct mail is like, what's your offer? What's your offer? And we've really taught our acquisitions people when somebody's like really aggressive with that, just basically say this. Before I sent you that piece of mail, before you got this postcard, were you even thinking about selling the house? No, I wasn't. Just because I got this postcard, I was just asking. So you weren't serious about selling the house at all? Not really. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to waste my time or your time. So boom, next call. The seller, before you call them, if they weren't even thinking about selling, it's not a good one. Not a good one at all. So the give me the offer thing's it's an easy one. Always a simple one. Can always overcome it with ease. But yeah, it's like give me the offer type people. Drive me crazy, but it works a lot, and always it's going to give you a lot of. It's always going to work. Don't worry about it. All right. So here's the next one. The other wholesaler offered me more. Roll my eyes every time I see this. You know, the other wholesaler offered me more. Come on, right? This is a simple one. If another wholesaler offered you more money, go take it. But before you take it, this is what our company does, FYI. So, like, I'll give you a disclaimer of what my company does for it. And so, what we like to do is just destroy all of our competition. Just frankly, that's what we do. Okay. I hate to tell you, but like, we destroy our competition with this. We just basically say this. Yeah, you should just go with the other wholesaler then. Just really quickly, just ask that other person how many houses they bought in the past 4 months. Just ask them. Get the addresses. Let me give you mine. 1, 2, 3 man, blah, 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 blah. So this is my own personal market. Heck, I'll get more aggressive. If it's in a zip code that I've bought, say, so Mr. Seller, you know, our partner Zach, our company, we bought 3 houses last month in this zip code. Here's the addresses. Look it up. What I want you to do is ask the other person that's looking to buy your house if they've bought any houses in that zip code the past month. And I know this isn't good for most of you guys watching this, but like for the wholesalers that have a little bigger operations that are watching this, use this one. I can't sleep at night knowing I did not give this game out for you for free. The other wholesaler that quote offered me more, just say go with them. That's it. And you know, maybe you sometimes lose on the deal, but like it's a hard one. Like if they're not really conditioned, it's gonna be a tough one to do. But just try to get them conditioned and go on it. Like if you're serious about selling, make a decision. I'm not here to go play around with other things. If you're actually serious about selling, go see me at the house, right? But the other wholesaler offered me more. We sometimes do that. Also, on top of that too, it's like, well, if they offered you more and you actually trusted them, you would actually accept it. So obviously you haven't. When's the time for me to go by the house? If you're ready to make a yes or no decision, I can go meet you. If not, I can just go buy other houses, right? It's the only way to really answer that objection. And there's no like, no, don't go with them, please. What are you going to do? Beg? Like, no, that's not what you're doing. It's so stupid. It drives me crazy when he sees it. It just drives me crazy. But so many wholesalers, they don't do it. You just have to be serious about what you're doing and you should be doing. All right, so let's do the next one here. This is not an objection, but this is a question I get a lot is like, you know, Zach, what's the process? Like, what's the process to talking to motivated sellers? What's the process of this whole thing? You're saying you're buying houses for cash. I don't understand. Is this a realtor thing? Hey, Michelle, that's a great question. Well, let me just talk about the whole process. What we do is if you want to sell your property, we want to buy it. So we have cash. We're looking to buy houses. And so that's pretty much it. If you want to sell it, we want to buy it for cash. Basically how it works is I'll go to the house, go buy it. I'm going to look at it. If it seems like a house that fits our criteria of what me and my partner are looking to buy, we'll write up an agreement to buy it. I'll bring it over to the title company. They'll make sure everything's legit. And from there, on the date that you choose, we will give you the cash in your bank for the house and for the price. So if we agree on a certain price, that's the price you're going to get at the end, wired into your bank account. Pretty simple. That's the process. Now, I know between you and me, it's a little more complicated than that. But honestly, for the seller, you are making it simple. Me and my partner, John or Rick, we're looking to buy a couple houses for cash. If you want to sell it, I can go by the house, look at it. If it works, we'll write up an agreement to buy it. I'll send it over to the title company. They'll take care of the rest. They'll make sure the title's all good. You don't really have to worry about any of that stuff. I'm paying for it. And then at the date that you choose, we'll close on the property. I bring the money to them. They wire it into your bank account. You get the money. And so the way it works is I go by the house. If we agree on it, whatever price we both agree on, that's the money that gets wired in your bank account at closing. Done. And I know I really oversimplified the entire process, but you do not want to overwhelm your seller with anxiety. You do not want to overwhelm your seller at all with this. And when you make the process simple, it's good. Okay. When you say, we'll write up a contract and then title's going to do the title work. And then we got to go to a due diligence period. And then we're blah, 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 blah. You're going to overwhelm a seller. And when a seller's overwhelmed and stressed, they're not going to go with you. And you lose out on the deal. It's insane the amount of motivated sellers that don't know how to answer that. Drives me nuts. But guys, just tell them the process, make it simple. Practice too. You really got to practice. Here's another objection. This is an objection that grinds my gears. It really not upsets me, but like, it's like, come on. And so I kind of lied a little, not lied, but like when you tell a seller, will you make a yes or no decision? Sometimes there's only one like maybe that you have to accept. And this is, yes, I decided I'm going to go with you, but I can't sign it until my attorney looks at it. And if you're outside of an attorney state, this is like, it's like, makes me want to scream. It's a really annoying one, but it's one that you have to accept. And when you have to understand how to talk around and talk to. What do I mean by this? Well, let's explain this. Now, if the seller says, I agree on that $150,000 price, but I need my attorney to look it over. What they mean by that is they want to see if I'm freaking out over this. That is the honest dang truth. They want to see if I am flipping out of the attorney. Now, if I go and say, no, don't go to the attorney, don't look at it. It sounds suspicious, right? It sounds like, why does he not want an attorney to look at this? Is he doing something illegal? Is he trying to scam me? Some people think they're getting scammed all the time. People think they're always getting scammed. Okay. It's stupid, but it's absolutely true. Everyone thinks they're getting scammed. And so if you say, don't go to the attorney, don't have him look at it. Oh no, you sound legit like a scammer. Okay. And so you have to say, sure. What do you want? You want the contract from them to look over? Here it is. And what you're going to do specifically is you do not want to put the price of it, or you don't want to write anything on it. All you do is give a blank contract. Well, can you put the price on? No, because we're not ready for the price anymore. You want the attorney to look it over. And that's all you can do, right? I'll let you know that every attorney that reviews a contract always has a problem with it. You know why? Because contracts and attorneys are all stupid, like different. Okay. Every attorney, if you paid an attorney $500 to go look at a contract, do you think the attorney is going to say, yeah, it's good. Give me my $500. The person is going to be like, you scammed me out of $500. What are you talking about? You didn't even look. You just looked at it. You said it was good, but like, I feel like you needed to go like find something. Right. And so when an attorney does, they see it. They're like, well, legally, this is a legal contract, but the way that I like looking at things is I would rather the earnest money be put on this section. And I'd rather put a line here saying about what happens with utility bills. And, it's all like knick-knack stuff, right? And so like, you ever talk to somebody about their opinion on a football team or of a football player or a basketball player? Everyone's got little opinions, right? Like it doesn't really affect anything. So sometimes attorneys come back and says, I don't like the contract. No, you're going to use my contract instead. And I'm like, no. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Attorney. Is my contract legally enforceable? Yes or no? Don't give me what do you think? If we wrote this contract, me and the seller, Would it be enforceable in court? Would it be enforceable with the state of whatever state you're using? Well, yeah, it would, but I just rather you use something else. Yeah, no, I don't care. Okay. Like, that's it. It's like me saying, hey, I'd rather you drive a Lamborghini than driving a Toyota Camry. Well, Mr. Officer, is it legal for me to drive a Toyota Camry? Yeah, but I prefer you just drove the Lamborghini. It's like, no, I'm just going to go use my Toyota. Okay. That's what, like, that is the example I use. And it sounds stupid, but it's like, I can still use, they're both legal. So, like, why don't I use the simple and easy one? Right. And so a lot of attorneys get on their high horse. They want to be all this, and that. But between you and me, it's fine. So I need my attorney to look at this. Just say, okay, here's the contract. Make sure it's blank. Have them look it over. Half the time, they don't even have an attorney even looking at it. They just do it to see if you're scared, or they have a paralegal friend to look it over. It's fine. Okay. Don't worry about it. The problem is if you give a price to the attorney, they're going to say, well, I actually think the house is worth this much. And then they give their price opinion. And it's like, no, that I think they should give more EMD. I get that all the time. That's why I just leave it all blank, because they can't argue about that. And so I need my attorney to look it over. And then the seller doesn't want to pay the attorney twice to look it over. So it usually works out. Give them blank contract. That'll put you at the best advantage for still closing the seller and closing the deal. So that's what I use. Now, the one that grinds my gears, I'll think about it, or maybe no. Okay. I'll think about it, or maybe no. Whoa. All right. We're not playing this game here. This is not what we do in wholesaling. All right. If I have a seller who has the audacity, after me conditioning them to say, I'll think about it maybe. Hey, whoa, Mr. Seller. Remember when you gave me your word? I go for the low blow. Okay, FYI for everyone watching this, I go for the absolute low blow with these sellers. Hey, remember when you gave me your word that you would make a yes or no decision? I'm not here to waste my time or your time. You said you'll think about it, but you agreed you would already make a decision here and now. I did. Dang, I did say that, didn't I? You did. So are you a man of your word? I'm a man of my word. Yeah, let's just go do it. I'll tell you, I have a lot of those type of sellers happen, like appointments and everything like that. And that's usually the in-person type thing. And so we have to understand is when I get that, I go low blow. Like, I'm like, are you not a man of your word? Tell me to my face you're not a man of your word or a woman of your word. Everyone's got an ego. And most sellers have a big enough ego where they can't accept that. And so they just say, no, I'm a man of my word. Yeah, I am. I'll accept that deal. And I love that objection. It's a great objection. Every time I get that objection, I'm always happy with it. Okay. I do not mind. The reason why is because when you do that, you actually end up always getting the deal usually. And so it's a great one. I always highly recommend it for everyone here. So that's another objection up here. So let's keep going the objection train. Let's go. There's still so many more objections to go through because you got to be really, really skilled on any single type that could happen, any situation that could happen in wholesaling, right? There's so many. So that's another one. So let's go to the next one here. Why, Mr. Zach or whatever, why can't you just come by and see the house? Why can't you actually go here and meet me at the house, man to man? I get it all the time. Like if you're virtually wholesaling, right? The best way for me to overcome this objection is just basically like, well, the way our company works is we're not here to waste time and we want to do this as fast and easy as possible. We agree on a price for the real estate, for the piece of house, and then we go and actually look at it. We trust your decision. We trust you telling us what the condition of the house is. It's always a trust thing between us when we're doing business. And the one thing we do is we always make an agreement up front. And once we make an agreement on the price, we look through it, and then we bring somebody to look at the house. We're not here to inspect it and nickel dime you, and that's not the way we work. If you just kind of put your foot down, usually it's fine. And like that's the best way to overcome that type of objection. So usually it doesn't work. But the reason why you do that, you just don't sound like a weird scammy salesman or sales type person. And so usually always ends up really well. And so that's one we always do here. So give me a second. We're going to go do the offer really quick. Check the lighting here. All right, good. All right, we had I had to check a little button came on here. So just make sure we're good here. All right. So as you can see here, we got I ain't no fancy schmancy guru. I don't have 4 employees behind me right here. We're all looking at analytics, just me. And we're good to go. So let's kind of break down the offer. Okay. There's about a lot of offer methods, a lot of ways to offer a seller, but let's kind of go over my live presentation after all these objections are done of the offer. Now, my favorite offer, I could tell you, is it's my patented Zach Ginn, or I call it the Ginn because, I kind of did it with Rick too. So like it's my patented one, and it's the offer I give the most. Now, it's not the only offer I give, but it is the offer I give the most of. And so let's kind of break down what it is. It's called the good cop, bad cop method. Okay. So let me write method on here. All right. It's called the good cop, bad cop method. This, in my 2,000 plus wholesaling deals I've done. Okay. This is the one that has hands down worked the best. Hands stinking down work the best. If I'm looking at like a percentage of me getting deals locked up, this is going to be the best one. The good cop, bad cop method. What is the good cop, bad cop method? The good cop, bad cop method is basically a method of me being a good cop and the bad cop being the mean person. And it has always worked in interrogations. The police have always used it. You know why? The FBI, CIA, whatever, they've all used it because it works. Okay. And they have been doing that a lot longer than you and I have been alive. And the reason they do it is because it works, and we are not going to question it. And so basically how it works is I will give talk with the seller, and I'll explain that my partner, who is the bad cop, wants to buy it for this price. And the sellers, I'm going to feel them out. If they don't like it, they're like, oh, that's too low. Hey, whoa, wait. I know that's great. My partner, Rick, he's crazy. He always wants to buy it for the least. He's nuts. But that's not my offer. I was just letting you know what he was at. That's why I'm here. I make the decisions. And then you kind of gave that leverage. So we have to understand in any offer negotiations in life, anything in general, this is 100% true for wholesaling. Whoever gives the offer first loses the leverage. The price is the leverage. It's kind of a battle between, trying to get the most for the deal for the seller and you buying it for the least, right? It's a back and forth negotiation battle. And whoever can give up their feel of it, it's kind of like a little war, a battle, you win. And so that's why you never want to give the offer first or the price first, because they could win it for a lot less. And so what you need to do is just trick them, not trick, but like kind of get it out of them. It's the best way I can explain it. And so let's go use an example. Here is my quote, the offer. Okay. This is the one that always works the best, is in freelcing.com, the one we talk about, but this is it. Hey, Mr. Seller, after looking at everything, I was calling my partner Rick on this, and he looked at it. I told him about it. I told him the property, and I told that what it needed and everything. And he told me he wanted to buy this for around $100,000. See how I just shut up there and I just zip. I just mentioned that $100,000. And maybe there's a little awkward silence. And the seller's like, okay, I can do that. Well, Mr. I can't do that. Like that I'm just letting you know. Like that I'm just letting you know what he told me for it. I just generally just letting you know what my partner was. Unfortunately, he hasn't seen this house. He doesn't know it needs X, Y, and Z and all this. And then I can bring him down in price right from there. Sometimes you get 100. I can't do 100. No way. I'm at 130. I need 130,000 for this house. Hey, Messiah. I get it. Rick's crazy. He wants to buy the thing for the lowest price possible. He's nuts about it. If he could buy this house for $1, he would do it. But like, that's why he's not here. This is why I'm here. I'm here to make the decisions. That's why I'm here. I ain't the guy coming out here making these low offers. That's what Rick does. That's why I'm here. I'm just trying to be respectful here. And they're like, oh, okay. But because you did that, you just got what their price is off the bat. And then you can negotiate from there and get the deal locked up. it's a great offer because it's it's like if you mess up, you can just say, "Hey, it's their fault," right? And you're the good cop, right? You're the good guy. You're the person actually trying to be in the best position with the seller, right? That's how you do it. Now, what is the virtual offer, right? Like, what's my presentation with a motivated seller if this is virtual wholesaling, right? What's the way that works best for that, right? Well, there's multiple ones here, but like when you're virtually doing the offer, you're kind of explain it like this, like, hey, Mr. Seller, we're talking, got it conditioned already, right? I was looking at it, I was telling my partner he wanted to be at 100,000 for this. No. Trust me, he's crazy. He always wants to buy it for the most. I'm just letting you, that's what he was telling me and looking online for it. But obviously, talking to you, I got a little more information. Obviously, he can't do 100. Between him, he wants to. That's why I'm here talking to you. He wants it for too low. I get it. Okay. Well, I know he's at 100,000 and you 130. Here's the problem. Okay. He wants to buy it for 100. You want to buy it for 130. If I say 130, he's going to kick my butt. Obviously, we can't do that. He's going to be upset. Obviously, you're not going to take 100. Can we just meet in the middle here, like 115? I mean, that makes sense, right? Like he's gonna be really upset. I'm even taking one. He told me not a dime above 100, but I'm sick of just like talking to other people around that. I just want to start renovating these houses. Can we just meet in the middle? Does that make sense? Okay, we meet in the middle. Fine, perfect, right? And that's another way I do it. Like there's a lot of methods and ways to do this, but like the way I like that is be like, okay, he's at this one. He told me not to get a dime above this, right? And you're at this price. We just meet at the middle. And a lot of people, there's these. Chris Voss has a book says, never split the difference, right? I think that's a stupid theory. Now, let me explain this to you. Okay, let's talk about splitting the difference. All right, what most splitting the difference is if I want this much for my house, and I give a regular-ish offer here, and I meet in the middle, I'm kind of like here, right? Like I'm kind of at my nose. But guess what? If you're at this price and I offer like this low and we meet in the middle at like my chest. And you actually end up getting the deal locked up here. So yes, if you do regular low balls, you're to my nose, right? That's the price. But if you give such a stupid low ball, the average price has to meet. When you meet in the middle, when I'm so low, you have to go low. You have to drop it just to meet me in the middle. So that's kind of the point. If you get the law offer so low, it's like the law of averages, right? So if I give 100 if I do 100 and I meet in the middle with the guy at 0, I'm at 50, right? Whoa, that's a 50-point drop. But if I at 100 and I have to meet somebody at the middle at, let's say, not good at math. Let's say I have to go meet at the middle with someone at like, I don't know, 60, for example. I'm at 80, not 50. And so that means just like if you get so low and they have to meet in the middle, it drops insane. And so like for example, right? If you're ridiculous with your offer, but you know how to get around it, you'll do good. So let me use an example. If I tell you, hey, I want let's say we're selling my house, right? Let's do the opposite for an example of why this works so well. So Chris Voss can watch this. If I decide I want to sell my house, let's say my house is worth 500,000, right? And somebody goes and tries to offer 400 for my house. And I'm like, you want to buy? And I didn't give them my offer price. You want 400 grand for my house? Well, I want to sell my house for $5 million. Let's meet in the middle. Okay. Guess what happens when we meet the middle? All right. If I want to sell my house for $4 million and you are at 400, we meet the middle. I sell my house for 2.2 million. You know why? Because I was so stupid of how much I want for it. Just meeting in the middle with my stupid craziness means I got $2 million for the house. And so you have to be so ridiculously low that even when they meet in the middle, you do well. And so that's why meet in the middle always works well. I hate people that say, don't ever meet in the middle. If you're just average on your offers, then yeah, don't do it. But you got to be really crazy lowball offers. There's other ones. There's a standard lowball. Hey, Mr. Seller, I can buy this for 130. They get mad at you. You kind of lose on the deal. I don't like that type of offer. We always do the offer first method too. That's another one. Hey, Mr. Seller, how much do you want to sell your house for? 130. Well, I can't do. Can you do 100? You can negotiate from there. You just kind of get their offer first. That works, I guess, too. You can do the volley method too, which is just like this one Rick always loves. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Like we use it, but like I like good cop, bad cop better. His volley method is basically, hey, Mr. Seller, how much do you want to sell the house for? Or what price works for you to get rid of it? Oh, I don't know. Well, you don't know? No. Well, if you did know, what would it be? I have no idea. Like if you obviously have a price in mind, like what would work for you? I don't know. Usually if you just keep saying, well, if you did, I know you don't know, but if you did know, what would it be? And you can go back and forth. But usually when you volley like that, about 5 or 6 times, they just spit out. They get so frustrated, they just spit out a price. You can also use the dollar bill method too, which basically like, hey, Mr. Seller, I mean, you don't know how much you're going to sell your house for? Well, I mean, you wouldn't sell the house for $1, right? No, of course I wouldn't sell my house for $1. Well, okay. Well, basically that means you established a price. If you want to take $1 for it, right? I mean, would you take $2? No. $3? Would you take $500? No, 40,000, and boom, you get the price out of the seller, right? So that's how you do it. Like giving offers to sellers is pretty simple. You know, you kind of follow a rough outline script, and you just basically use any of the methods I said before. They give you any of the objections, you know how to go over them, and you're basically good to go. And so that's how you overcome all these objections. A lot of people get really freaked out over, oh, I got an objection from the seller, or oh, the seller said this or that happened. You're really over complicating this. Okay. You just got to give the offer. That is it. Like make it really low, go for the low offer, go for the no. And you're good. The one last thing I could tell everyone when it comes to offers, when it comes to making offers, we here on the channel, we really have one saying, and no guru ever wants to talk about it. They're so scared, but it's true. Okay. We have one thing. It's called go for no. Let me repeat myself. Go for no. When you give an offer to a motivated seller, okay, our goal is for them to say no. If the seller did not say no, if the seller did not accept, if the seller accepted my first offer, that means I could have gone lower. You want to squeeze the most out of this deal. You want to squeeze the most profits out of this. And the only way that you are actually going to go out here and squeeze the most on the deal is making the seller say no, negotiating from there, and then getting the deal locked up and done from there. Guys, you have to go for the no. If you do not go for the no, you're screwed up and you are definitely behind the 8 ball in wholesaling. So